Welcome back to Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Red. That video today from Lock the Bounty Hunter. Grizzle just proves that there's no hope. Send the asteroid. Please like and subscribe down below. I really appreciate it. Let's get that chow. It's chow time.
The woman choosing bear versus man conversation.
What conversation?
It's not a conversation. It's just an excuse for women to act emotionally impulsive.
Right.
That's all it is.
I've heard so many things on this, but I really need to call out a very specific thing, and maybe hopefully it will help some men. If you're unaware of this whole situation, it's if a woman's in the woods alone, would they rather come across a bear or a man? And pretty much unanimously, the women say...
I wouldn't say unanimously.
Bear.
It's only
Women with brains understand.
unanimous because you choose for it to be unanimous. The only ones who actually get any type of exposure are the ones who say bear. There are plenty of women out there who say man because there are plenty of women out there who aren't massive idiots.
And there are some men
man-hating
really
whores.
struggling with this.
I mean, men aren't struggling with your response. We're struggling with how you could be so idiotic.
Yep.
You assume that when men hear bear, they're gonna automatically get angry, but we're not angry. We're just stupefied that you would make such a petty decision.
Yep.
You gotta understand that humans in general, especially women who are more emotionally in tuned,
Women are just more emotional. There's no in-tuneness to it. It's just emotions.
Well, considering that you will challenge someone to a machete fight when you're not in the front of the line at your favorite restaurant when you're hungry, I really don't think that you can play the emotional maturity card there, sister. It's really not a good idea for you.
we have our own experiences to draw on. That's all we have in life. And almost every single woman has had a negative encounter with a man.
With that logic, most of you women have never met bears. Never seen bears. So the chances of bears ever even doing anything to you is like nothing. Imagine if there was just bears out there as much as there were men. You would get mauled left and right. Oh, poor you!
And many men out there have had negative encounters with produce, but that doesn't mean that we demonize all fruit.
I need you to think about this. Every single woman has had at least one or more negative encounter with a man.
Then you don't think that it's the same thing for men? Do you not think it's the same thing for men? But we still deal with you.
And most of us have never had an encounter with a bear.
No
That does not
fucking
make
shit.
sense.
You know what? I have never had an encounter with a chainsaw wielding maniac. I have never had an encounter with a guy driving a killdozer, nor have I ever had an encounter with an Apache helicopter. But I know inherently doing so for any three of those scenarios would probably mostly be incredibly hazardous to my health and well-being.
So what this means is we are drawing from memory or thought or circumstances, and we're saying what's scarier. We know what a bear is.
No, you
No,
don't.
you don't. You don't know what a bear is, because
Yeah,
if you knew
logically.
what a bear is, you would actually be second guessing your stupid decision.
Correct.
We know that they're scary. We know that they're powerful, but we also know that unless they're hungry and or protecting their territory, we're probably
Your intellect is as weak as your dollar. Failure is your destiny. You disrespect yourself and your nation. You are made of stupid.
So I guess those gigantic cans of bear spray are just a novelty gift
Right.
then? Woman, you do realize that if you run into a bear in the woods, you're pretty much doomed. All right?
And what I've heard multiple times from a woman is I know the worst a bear can do is unalive me.
Unalive you in the worst possible and undignified way. You think that it would be quick and painless, but it's not. You're talking about a massive 1,000-pound animal with razor-sharp claws and teeth, throwing you around, ripping you open.
It's like, have they not seen The Revenant? That shit was scary as fuck when the bear was fucking Leonardo DiCaprio up. I don't even understand how the motherfucker was able to get up after that shit.
And if you're still alive, you're going to be witnessing some horrifying stuff. That is a terrible justification to make.
But that's not the worst a man can do.
Okay, so that would imply that the majority of men out there are sociopathic serial unalivers. You have no idea how disrespectful you sound right now, because you are just implying that because some dude said something mean to you once, that all of us are just nothing but a bunch of psychopathic murderers. That is not cool, woman.
There's a whole lot more that they can do before the unaliving happens.
Yeah, I can already tell that this woman spends most of her time watching true crime shows. You just know.
You're right. He's right. Like, I can't believe Locke brought it up. The whole true crime shit. This is probably exactly why women think so ill of men. They watch so much of this, and they're so attracted to these men, these serial killer men that do horrible things and look like normal people, and they just think every man is like this. Every man are these Dexter fucking, whatever the freaking serial killers' names are.
Tell.
I understand that this is kind of not my wheelhouse typically.
Then why are you in the wheelhouse? You don't know what you're talking about, and yet you insist on talking about it.
You need to understand that just in general, we draw from experience. And when you've had 1, 2, 3, or more poor experiences with a man, alarm bells say unsafe in these types of environments.
Okay, let's go ahead and break this down for a second. Let's say that you've had 5 relationships where you're constantly choosing the worst man possible. Okay? Now, there are literally over 1 billion men on the face of the planet. Now, what you are saying is that because you have terrible taste in men, that all men share the same qualities as the ones you dated. You are generalizing the entire population of Earth just because some guy said mean things to you. And you're trying to get us to believe,
or try to get in your pants a little too roughly,
that because you had bad dates or you had whatever experiences, that being eaten alive by a bear would be more preferable than dealing with a man. Yeah, I'll believe that during the reign of Queen Dick.
No, obviously, if you're stuck in some crazy Appalachian mountains and you're needing help and, you can't, whatever, a man would probably be oh God, thank God, somebody found me because you've been lost in the woods forever, right?
Yes, exactly.
You would assume
you
so.
just debunked your own argument. If you are lost in the woods, you want a man to help you. And yet that is some sort of a controversial hot take that you would rather say you'd be rather eaten alive than take the risk of being freaking rescued. You really need to listen to the idiocy that you're spewing out.
And I think in reality, if you go to that place, you would want anybody to find you. You've
Correct.
been alone in the woods for 3, 4, 5 days and you need help finding your way out. A man is obviously going to be your best bet.
So what is your point?
Well, why did she even bring it up to debunk her own logic right there?
You were stuck in the woods, you would rather find a man. I mean, for crying out loud.
But I think in most scenarios when somebody's thinking this through, they're not thinking, I've been lost in the woods for 4 days and I need help getting out. What they're
because they're not thinking logically, because they're fucking idiots.
thinking is immediate danger. If I'm like just a little bit off of a trail, I've been on a hiking trail, I'm a little bit off a trail, what would I rather see? And it's gonna be a bear.
What is the difference, woman? In both cases, you are lost in the woods. It doesn't matter if it's 4 days or 4 minutes. You would rather come across a man to get you back on the trail so you can get on with your life, okay? You can't just say, oh, well, if I'm only lost on a trail in the park for like 5 minutes,
I'd rather die.
run into a bear. But if I'm starving in the middle of Appalachia, of course I want a man. It doesn't work that way. There is no specified scenario. It's a very simple question, and you feel the need to have to change the rules in order to justify your terrible decision making. And you are doing a terrible job, by the way.
And again, it's because we don't have experiences to draw on. Now, anybody who's had an experience negatively with a bear or has a direct tie to that is going to have a different story.
That really shouldn't be an argument, though.
Not really.
You know bears are dangerous.
Again, like Locke said, I've never fought a lion. But best to God, I know I'm going to lose against a lion.
And you know that a bear will kill you. Even though a man probably, odds are, won't. They'll probably help you. Well, not...
Like, we're talking about random man, maybe, what, not even 1%. I don't even think it's 1% of men that do these horrible things. So you have 99% chance of being okay. Either the man leaving you alone or the man actually helping you. The bear, I want to say it's almost 90% chance, maybe 70% chance it's going to attack you in some way, shape, or form.
Anymore, considering that there's no incentive whatsoever to help you, and we have nothing to gain by helping you and everything to lose, namely by the hand of the woman we're trying to help.
True. Yeah, that's why I said they'll probably walk away from you, because they're like, oh, random woman in the woods, she's going to try to accuse me of shit. Run away.
I think that this part of the conversation hasn't been talked about. The fact
No, it's
you're
been
just an
talked
idiot.
about. No, you never shut up about it. You would rather talk about why you'd rather be wrong than actually prove us right.
that our memory, our core memories that we have is man is dangerous.
Okay, just because a man said some mean words to you doesn't make him dangerous. It means you're a terrible judge of character. You cannot blame us for your terrible decision making. It doesn't work that way.
So our alarm bells will go off.
No, your emotions go off.
Please, men, instead of taking this personal, as much as I
I don't understand how they can't see how we take it personally. They are attacking every single individual man with this comment. It's not that, oh, it's bad men. No, you attacked all men. Good, bad, ugly, good looking. It doesn't fucking matter.
understand some men that don't understand this, it's because you're innocent and you're around innocent people, and I think some are just dangerous and don't want to understand it.
There are dangerous men out there.
There are.
That goes without saying, just as much as there are dangerous women out there.
There are.
There is no such thing as living in a world where you're going to have 100% safety. At the end of the day, you need to take some responsibility for your actions. You can't just blame us for this. And also, considering the fact that a majority of the men out there are innocent, it kinda sorta proves you're wrong anyway.
That happens too. But do you know how we change this narrative?
You shut up about it and go back to making sandwiches?
That would be
We
great.
start treating women as our daughters, our mothers, and sisters. We stop
The fuck are you talking about? Like, all women are my daughters, my mothers, and sisters? No, some of you women are just horrible women. I don't give a fuck if you're my daughter, my sister, or my mother, if you're horrible people. Thank God my family isn't horrible people, so I can stick by them. But if you're a horrible person, why would I stick by you?
stop giving them a reason to fear us. I don't know why I'm saying we, but you.
Okay, so you automatically assume that we're dangerous and now we have to go out of our way to convince you? Or you could, just accept that not all men are psychos. I think that's a little bit more reasonable.
To think that they have to... Just think of that statement. That men have to prove that they're not dangerous to women. Like, what the fuck?
You start to hold people accountable. You stop getting in that wolf pack mentality, and when somebody's being a dicky do-balls, you call it out.
No, we're not going to do that. We are not going to shove our noses in other people's business. That is a good way to get shanked, woman.
Yep.
A buddy's cheating on his wife, you call it out.
Nope, not doing that either. To quote Gypsy,
Do you please maybe help?
No way! This is your dishwashing liquid! You soak in it!
A man's being disrespectful in a bar, call it out.
so your solutions are to butt into other people's business and risk getting hit in the back of the head with a freaking bar stool? Calling a dude out in the middle of a bar just starts a fight.
Yeah.
I take it as a point of pride that
This is why women don't understand the rule of violence. They just think, oh yeah, you should just be able to step in. No, once a man steps in front of a man, violence incurs. Just like that.
I've gone many years, decades even, of not taking a whiskey bottle to the face. And after a while, you get kind of proud of those streaks. I am not about to call out someone's behavior, especially when it's none of my business. That goes double for when I'm in a bar. There's just no way I'm doing that.
The way that we stop this fear from women feeling this is other men have to call out this poor behavior.
Shut the
We're not
fuck
going to do
up.
that. We are not responsible for controlling the behavior of other people.
I'm gonna slightly disagree with you that on Locke. It's not our responsibility, but it is society's responsibility to make everybody, like, not to make everybody, but to guide everybody to a nicer air. I don't know how to say it. To a nicer result, I guess. That's the word to say. Society should be pushing people, and people in society should be pushing people to be good people.
We are only responsible for controlling our own emotions and our own behaviors.
I agree. I 100% agree with that too. We can only control ourselves, but as a society, we're all part of the society. We should all be helping a little bit to make it better, or to make it at least tolerable.
We take responsibility for our emotions and our actions. You are saying that we must be held responsible for your terrible decision making, and we need to somehow cherish your assumptions and convince you that the world is a safe place. But I hate to break it to you, sister, it's not. The world is an unsafe place. And because the world's an unsafe place, you really kind of sort of have to learn the virtue of common sense. I know it's probably going to be impossible for a woman like you, but try. You might be able to surprise us in 40 years.
That's it.
I doubt it.
It comes from y'all.
No, it comes from
Because
y'all.
until women start having positive interactions with men, and obviously we do have positive.
Women have, doesn't matter what the fuck interactions you have with men. Your feelings are going to dictate whatever your feelings dictate. So men are just going to always be evil creatures, because it doesn't matter what we say. We can just say, not give you a compliment, and we become evil creatures in your mind. You know, we can give you a compliment and we're still evil creatures in your mind. Like, we're damned if we do and we're damned if we don't. And it doesn't matter almost any scenario.
Interactions, but we need to have more positive interactions.
Then choose better men. If you're having nothing but negative interactions with men, it's because you are choosing bad men. Choose better men and you'll have better experiences. I know, go figure, right?
And few to almost zero negative interactions.
So hold up. Let me get this straight for a second. You're
Few to zero negative interactions between men and women. Oh, yeah. That's how the world works, right?
saying that the only way that you will actually start to respect men is if every single interaction that you have with men from now until the day you croak has to be positive. And until that day happens, you're just going to continue to rip on men because apparently being eaten by a bear is preferable to a guy who says 5 words to you that make you slightly uncomfortable. Got it.
Unfortunately, the bear's going to win. And that's just a sad reality that women live in.
You know what I've come to realize with this whole thing, and I'm probably late to this particular party, but these women hate men so much that they want to blame them for everything.
Yep.
Right? And, you know, we hear it all the time from the men that we feel sorry for the bears. Like, woman, why do you hate bears so much? Why do you want to torture bears with your decision making? What did the bears ever do to you? How did the bears
Grizzle
hurt
Grizzles.
you? And I just gotta tell you, woman, you're not gonna get anywhere in life by acting like a massive bear sandrist.
Women just love to demonize men, especially women that hate men. All of these women that had their interactions all horrible with men, stop fucking going with the Chad, Tyrones, and Pookies. I know plenty of women that had nothing but great experiences with men. Speaks volumes about you. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. I'll catch you next time.